The short for this one's already uploaded, but I want to do a longer, deeper dive video just because there's a lot that went into this particular build, and I wanted to document everything that went in. This is parts from 4 different manufacturers. The emitter and switch segment is a single piece that came from Stardust. Stardust was in Canada. They were making some pretty good VHC compatible parts, and sadly they don't seem to be in business anymore. Their website is still up, but you can't complete an order with them. There's also parts from Vire on here, such as their Mantis grip and one of their connectors here in the back, as well as this cutting from a Vire shroud that I had floating around for some time. And also heavily employed here are parts from Corvus Saber Foundry. This is the first time I've cut Corvus parts, and I'll show you the details on those in a little bit. But shrouds, rings, 2 of the new MPP shrouds, the original piece that he had first designed, the Corax, another cutting of mine from another Vire part, and then the 4th company is Saberbay. I adore Saberbay's loops. The mount is great. The loop is in excellent shape. I'll show you that in detail in a minute, but let's get closer. So, top down, what I wanted to do here was use a pair of Corvus Wrens and widen out the emitter and give the emitter a bit more weight, a bit more use. A lot of VHC parts are not necessarily skinny, but when you beef them up a little bit, they really jump. And doing the rough cut and then file polishing the edges and trying to make them as even as possible, which is not easy by hand, and then roughing the Corvus surface with 2000 grit sandpaper and a little bit of mother's polish just to give it that lived-in used Star Wars look. Gives it a nice weight, a nice look. And using copper tape just to make some of the additional details pop. Paint into the cutting, and then moving on into the Vire parts, the Corvus parts attached to the Vire grip. Some of them I left untouched, so they still have that nice shine to them, and it gives it a counterpoint versus the dulled down ones that I hit with 1000, 1500, and 2000 grit sandpaper, never dull wax and mother's polish, and just gave them a worn look. The Mantis comes fully shiny, fully beautifully polished, but because I wanted a really well-used look to this saber, I hit it with a couple of quick coats of automotive primer and then rubbed it off, so it only stayed in the recesses of the knurling. Now down here, more copper tape, poked out with a number 2 pencil, just so that way the holes are nice and round. Measuring with calipers and then eyeballing it to try and drill and tap these so that way they're as perfectly even as possible was quite the challenge, but it really helped complete the back end and turned it from just a finish into an actual pommel as far as I'm concerned. And then, of course, down here we have the Saberbay belt loop and mount, and that is actually inside a Corvus thin neck mount, which I had left over, and it's held in place using a molly bolt and a couple of oversized washers just to keep everything secure. But this might be one of the most unique ones I've built, just for the fact that there are so many manufacturers involved, and this is sadly going to be a one-off because one of the primary components is no longer available. I shared this on Facebook, on Discord, and within 10 minutes, 2 people wanted to know how much I was selling it for. So I'm guessing I did a good job on this one. Who knows? Maybe I'm getting better at this sort of thing. But that is some of the Corvus parts that I teased in an earlier video, now put to use. Once the remaining item I'm waiting for shows up in the mail, I'll finish work on the other one that I've been working on. and I'll show that one off too. But please definitely let me know in the comments what you like about this one, what you think needs work. I'm always trying to figure out ways to improve and do things differently. And this one, yeah, this one was just a couple of ideas that ended up coming together and then evolving and evolving and evolving. And yeah, I'm real happy with how this one turned out. What do you think?